The dark side of good vibes only. Why forgiveness didn't heal me. Hi, I'm Star Delta 9, and today I want to have a conversation that may challenge some commonly accepted ideas in the healing and spiritual communities. I want to talk about forgiveness. I want to talk about positivity. I want to talk about resilience. And I want to talk about what happens when all three are used to avoid the truth. Before we begin, please remember that these videos are for educational purposes only. I'm not a licensed therapist, psychologist, or a physician. My intention is to share my own experiences and insights along my healing journey. So let's begin. This was a realization that hit me recently. For most of my life, I thought I was healing, but what I was actually doing was adapting. There was a difference. Healing transforms us. Adapting helps us survive. And when you grow up in a dysfunctional environment, survival becomes second nature. I could clearly identify the obvious problems. I knew my father drank. I knew there was anger. I knew there was chaos. I knew there was emotional unpredictability, but there was another layer I couldn't see. Not because it wasn't there, but because it had become normalized. The expectation that I should understand everyone else's behavior. The expectation that I should be a bigger person. The expectation that I should just forgive quickly. The expectation that I should just move on, and perhaps most importantly, the expectation that I should never make anyone uncomfortable with my truth. That became my role. Not truth-telling, not truth-holding, peacekeeping. And those are very different things. For years, I heard the same messages. Just forgive, just let go. The past's the past. Everybody makes mistakes. Take the high road, rise above it. Stay positive, focus on the good. And honestly, those messages sound beautiful. Who doesn't want peace? Who doesn't want freedom? Who doesn't want to release negativity? I know I certainly did. I wanted peace more than anything. So I tried. I forgave, then I forgave again, and I forgave some more. I became incredibly skilled at understanding why people hurt me. I could explain their childhood. I could explain their trauma. I could explain their fears. I could explain their wounds. I became an expert at understanding everyone else except myself. And one day I had this realization. Understanding somebody's behavior does not remove its impact. Understanding why someone wounded you does not erase the wound. Compassion does not heal betrayal, and forgiveness doesn't replace grief. This realization changed everything for me, because what I discovered was that many of us are using forgiveness to bypass pain. We're trying to skip the uncomfortable middle. We want to jump straight from hurt to peace, from betrayal to enlightenment, from anger to compassion. But healing doesn't work that way. Healing asks us to stop. Healing asks us to feel. Healing asks us to acknowledge what happened without immediately trying to make it okay. And that's where many people get stuck, including me. Especially those of us who were raised to prioritize harmony over authenticity, because danger or anger feels dangerous. Disappointment feels selfish. Resentment feels wrong. So we rush towards forgiveness, but not because we're healed, but because we're uncomfortable. That's a profound difference. One comes from freedom, and the other comes from avoidance. And avoidance is often disguised as spirituality. Let's talk about toxic positivity a moment. Toxic positivity isn't positive. It's the refusal to acknowledge reality. It's the insistent that every painful experience must immediately become a lesson. It's pretending we're okay when we're not. It's smiling while our nervous system is literally screaming. It's saying everything happens for a reason when somebody desperately needs to be heard. It's saying good vibes only, baby, when somebody is trying to tell the truth. Healing requires a full spectrum of human experiences, I believe. Joy, gratitude, compassion, but also grief, anger, disappointment, fear, and confusion. And if we deny half of our humanity, we deny half of our healing, don't we? One of the most damaging compliments I think I got as a trauma survivor was this: "You're so strong." Well, at first that sounded very kind, but sometimes that statement carries an unspoken expectation. Keep surviving, Star. Keep enduring. Keep carrying the load. Keep being resilient. Don't break. Don't complain. And suddenly resilience becomes another prison. Not because resilience is bad, but because resilience becomes something we perform for others. The truth is that healing isn't always resilient. Sometimes healing is messy. Sometimes healing is ugly. Sometimes healing is crying on my kitchen floor. And sometimes healing is admitting I'm angry. And sometimes healing is finally saying, "You hurt me," without immediately defending the person who hurt you or hurt me. So for many years, I thought healing meant becoming more forgiving. Now I believe healing means becoming more honest. Honest about what happened. Honest about how it affected me. Honest about the places where I abandoned myself in order to belong. But I have come to believe that self-abandonment is one of the deepest wounds trauma creates. Not what others did, not even the dysfunction itself, I don't think. But the moment I learned to disconnect from myself, the moment I stopped trusting my feelings, the moment I stopped honoring my own reality and perhaps my own healing, is my journey back. The journey back to my inner voice, back to my own truth, back to myself. I'm not perfect, not enlightened, not positive all the time, just real. And maybe that's enough. Maybe authenticity heals more than positivity ever could. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used forgiveness to avoid pain? Were you taught that being positive was the most important thing other than being honest? Have you ever confused resilience and self-abandonment? I'd love it if you share your thoughts below. Let's create a real conversation, not just about healing, but about what healing actually requires. Until then, namaste. Have a blessed day.